In this example, we want to determine the equation of this quadratic function whose graph we're given. So we know two different ways to write the equation of a quadratic. So we know standard form, which is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And we also know vertex form, which is f of x equals a times the quantity x minus h squared plus some value of k. Now, the version that we're going to use really depends on what we're given in our graph. So in this function, we're given the vertex, right? We're given the value of our vertex. So it probably will be easiest to write our equation in vertex form, because after that, the only really the only thing that we have to find is this value of a here, right? So because we know the vertex, we only really have to find that value of a in our function. So I'm going to use vertex form to write our equation for this graph. So substitute the x value and the y value. So this is h and then that is k. So we have f of x equals a times the value of x minus 1 quantity squared plus a negative 5, so just minus 5. Now we know that the value of f of x, right? F of x is really just y. So we have this other point over here, 0, negative 3, and we still need to figure out a. But we have three variables. We have x, we have y, and we have a. But we can use this other point to substitute the values in for x and y to solve for a. So I'm going to rewrite this equation as y equals a times x minus 1 quantity squared minus 5. And now we can substitute 0 in for x, and we can substitute a negative 3 in here for y to solve for a. So negative 3 equals a times the quantity 0 minus 1 squared minus 5. So let's evaluate this. 0 minus 1, that's negative 1, so negative 3 equals a times negative 1 squared minus 5. Negative 1 squared is just a positive 1, so negative 3 equals positive 1 times a is a minus 5. So add 5 to the other side, and we get that a is equal to 2. So we can take this value here and substitute it back up into our equation to get the equation of our function. So we have f of x equals a, which is 2, times x minus 1 quantity squared minus 5. So this is the equation for this function written in vertex form. If you wanted to get the equation in standard form, you could FOIL out the x minus 1, distribute the 2, and combine like terms to get the standard form equation.